more and more, this is right where I need to be. Well, when I hear her, I can see her, I can smell her sweet perfume, can feel her skin against me when I sleep. And I won't miss her, I can kiss her anytime that I want to, 'cause that's right where I need to be. Oh yeah, that's right where I need to be.
Hey everybody, Scott Lear here at B-Chord. We're at Union Jacks in Annapolis, Maryland, talking to one of my favorites in the world, Mr. Kendell Marvel. How are you, sir?
I'm well, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, funny story. We've crossed paths a couple times. Brothers Osborne show, saw you before the show in Maryland when we were there last time. Actually, Delaware when we were
Dewey
there.
Beach.
Yeah, Dewey Beach.
Yeah.
Love it there. And then, so I'm down at Craig Campbell's event for Fight CRC. And I see you standing at the bar, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And you're like, oh, I'm playing tonight.
Small world, man.
It's a small world. It's so funny how that works. But, man, I'm a huge fan. I truly am, and I love being able to do this kind of thing. So, Illinois native, give us a little bit about what it was like growing up in Illinois.
I grew up in it's a very rural area. You know, kind of reminds me of a lot of these small towns up here in Maryland.
Okay.
A lot of farming. There was a lot of coal mines back in the day. A lot of that stuff's gone. But yeah, just very small town and very country. People think Illinois, they think Chicago.
Right.
It's very far from Chicago. Yeah.
Well, and you just get outside of Chicago, and man, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
it's pretty country, yeah.
So you got into music at an early age. Give us a little about that backstory.
My dad taught me how to play when I was about 5. Started teaching me chords. Then time I got 9 or 10, he was taking me out to bars and honky tonks and having me play for tips, and he'd get free beer and kind of cut my teeth doing that.
There you go. It's a great way to do it. He made out really well.
He
out
done
of
well
that
with it, yeah.
So 20 years now, I think you've been in Nashville.
Yep.
Okay, not doing nothing, but 3, 4, 5 months ago, you put out your own album, and it is killer.
Well,
so give us a little bit about how that came about, that it took that long.
Well, it just came about because, trying to write songs for other people and just the state of country music, I couldn't make myself do it anymore. The stuff that people was having hits and stuff with, it's just not what I do well. I can't do them kind of songs well. And I thought, man, with all the other stuff going on with Sturgill Simpson, Cody Jinks, Stapleton, all these cool guys coming out doing real, authentic music, I thought, man, it's now or never. Because it's not like I'm a spring chicken, I'm 47 years old.
And the cool part about that is, 20 years you've been in Nashville, but you have been writing music. One of my favorite songwriters. I'm going to tell you that.
Thank you.
So you have been doing a lot during that 20-year period.
I have. I've been really fortunate enough to know a lot of cool guys who now are famous people, and we just kind of came up the ranks together and wrote songs together and drank beer together.
So here, I'm going to drop one, Right Where I Need to Be, a song you wrote for Mr. Gary Allan.
Yeah.
Amazing song. How was that process? I mean, that had to be cool.
Well, it's very strange because I wrote that the day that I moved to Nashville.
Very cool.
That was my first song that I wrote when I moved there. I knew my co-writer, Casey Bethard. We'd become friends because I'd run back and forth to Nashville, and he was my first co-writer, and we wrote that song, and it was cut quickly and was out and was a hit, and I thought, man, this is easy. Next one took a little longer. But yeah, I mean, it made Gary catapulted his career and obviously mine as well.
Sure. And I have to look because these are some big names. It's heavy on the paper here. Stapleton, Chris Stapleton, George Strait, Jamie Johnson, Jake Owen, all some of the names that you've written songs for that people, may not know, but that's what you were doing during that time frame.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I wrote songs out of necessity, and, and it was, I just happened to run across some good guys, and we wrote some good songs together. Me and Stapleton, we've written 60 songs together probably, just when he was just a songwriter.
Right.
So we had cuts on Josh Turner and Leanne Womack and Blake Shelton. I mean, we've had a lot of stuff together.
That is so cool. So cool. So one of the places where I did see you was at the Brothers Osborne show. You were on tour with them for a little bit, but then I also heard you guys wrote some together. So fill us in a little there.
Yeah, and I've known them guys since before they had their record deal, and my publisher Steve Markland introduced me to them, and they're just really good dudes. We hit it off great, and I didn't have any songs on Pawn Shop, and we kind of lost touch for a year or two. They was out doing their thing. And then this new publishing company that I'm writing for, their sister Natalie actually works there. She was like, "You guys need to get back together." And we got back together and wrote some songs, and they got 3 of them on that new record, Port St. Joe, which I'm really super excited to be a part of because it's such a unique Probably the coolest record I've heard in a long time.
It is an amazing album.
Is, yeah.
I mean,
it's
that
a
is
piece
one,
of art. Is
yes,
what it is, yeah.
yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. And you know, that sound of theirs is so unique, and to keep that,
it is,
sophomore album, that's always a tough one. You know?
It is a tough one, but I think they've done all right on it.
I think they did too. I totally think they did. So now we're here tonight. 1,000 Horses. You're on tour with them. How's everything going with that deal?
Oh, it's going great. I love those guys. We've written a lot of songs. They're getting ready to start a record, and we're going to hopefully land a few on there. But yeah, I try to write and tour with guys that I respect as musicians and songwriters and singers, and they're great people, and I like what they do. So I kind of, sometimes you get offers to go play with people that you don't really necessarily, it don't fit, it don't jive well, and I like those guys. But got 1,000 Horses, Jamie and Brothers Osborne, all those guys, we kind of fit together musically.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
All right, so let's talk you. Lowdown Lonesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy Woman. Gosh, love the song.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely love that song. I can crank that in the car, windows down. It's just a blare.
That.
And so tell us a little bit about that write process.
Well, we started with that song. Me and Keith Gaddis, who produced my record, and we built everything kind of around Lowdown and Lonesome. We had the idea that all the songs I'm either low down or I'm lonesome. So we wrote a few things together, 4 or 5 songs, and we went back in my catalog and cut several things that that had been around a while.
Okay.
And but he brought Gypsy Woman in. He'd already had it started, and he was like, "Man, and played me a little bit." He said, "We need something like this," and I was like, "What's wrong with that one?" He said, "Well, it's not done." I was like, "Well, let's finish it." So he was gracious enough to finish it with me.
Cool.
And yeah, it's one of my favorites on the record for sure.
Great song. So Untangle My Mind, another one. Absolutely love that one too.
Oh,
so
thanks.
Tell us a little bit about the write process there.
Me and Stapleton and Jaron Boyer wrote that song, and we wrote it way different. Stapleton, it's on his volume 2 on his record, and he does the original. It was originally written like the way he done it.
Oh, okay.
The real bluesy feeling, and so we, I'm kind of a honky tonk guy, so we Merle Haggard it up. We kind of made it a little honky tonk.
But
song.
it's so cool, and that was one of the unique things to me is you do have that country flair in there, and
Right.
you also have that bluesy flair to it too. It really hits both. So hearing you say that kind of makes sense where that all came from.
Yeah, we kind of appeal to the rock and rollers. I always say it's Merle Haggard meets ZZ Top. We want to appeal to all those people.
There you go. So on the album you put out, you wrote 9 out of the 10 songs. There was one there. There's got to be a little bit of a reasoning behind that.
The story on that is we had tracked all 9 songs, and we had a couple other things in the pile. It was like, okay, what do we want this last song to be? And Gaddis come to me and he said, "You want to do a cover song?" And I was like, "I don't know. What are you thinking? I'm not opposed because there's a lot of great songs out there." And he said, "Man, we need something that feels like drinking my baby goodbye." And I was like, why not that one? I love that song. And we've done a way different version of it too. It's very similar to Charlie's, but it's a little more rock and roll than his was. No fiddle. It was more guitar driven.
You made it you.
Made it me. Cool. Yeah, and of course Jamie Johnson sings on that with me, so that made it even that much more fun.
I love it. Okay, this has to be a hard one, and I'm not going to settle for the last one you wrote. Favorite song that you've ever wrote?
That's a tough one because I've written a lot of songs. I've probably written 1,000 songs. So, I have a lot of songs that I really like, but I would probably have to say some of my favorites have never been recorded and probably never will be. But the favorite one that I've had out there is probably Either Way with Chris Stapleton, and we just won a Grammy on that song in February, and it's just such a real emotional, sad-ass country song, but I just love that song.
And it's so good.
Me and him and Tim James wrote that song. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Mix it up to a real fun one here. A lot of people, getting down to the Nashville area. Where's one spot, like a unique spot, they must do if they take a trip on down there?
I know everybody shies away from Broadway because everybody's down there, but there is a bar down there that if I want to go hear live music, I go to. It's Robert's Western World. They always got a really good band. Hit the Songwriter shows. The Bluebird's hard to get into. The Bluebird's always great.
Yep.
But there's lots of other little joints around town that's doing them. Listening Room. It's just places you can go hear the people behind the songs and people who's going to be probably tomorrow's superstars. That you can say I seen them when they were just songwriting and sitting on a little stage with an acoustic.
And it's the craziest thing. Every bar you usually walk into, you're like, wow, what is wrong that these people are playing?
But Nashville is unlike New York and LA in that I think that they have the most talented songwriters, musicians per capita anyway. It just seems like they flock there, especially musicians. There's so many good. I would hate to want to be a guitar player and go there and compete with them people who do that every day. They're just so good. It's ridiculous.
Unreal. So I have to ask you, and we touched on this a little bit ago, your sound is very unique. It's such a breath of fresh air coming into the country music world as it is right now. You mentioned some of the names that are kind of circling it back around, and I know that's big for you. Has it been a little bit of a challenge coming into it that way, or have you looked at it? You know, I think I know what you're going to say, but you know, it's tough. I mean, because it's not what people are actually out there putting on the radio and things like that.
It is tough as far as I have no crazy expectations where I'm going to be having hits on the radio. You know, I'm 47. You know, it's not going to happen. They struggle with having hits with Stapleton, you know, guys like him, just because they're outside the box. But there is a giant fan base of people out there. Look at Cody Jinks. I mean, this guy,
Love him.
I've never heard one of his songs on the radio. And he is selling out amphitheaters and just killing it. So there's other ways besides country radio now to do things. And we're slowly eating away at that and making fans everywhere we go. And it's growing slowly, and you know, I still write songs for other people, so it's not like the only thing I'm not living and dying by getting out here and playing on stage. But yeah, I'm having a great time. A lot of great friends are gracious enough to put me on tour. You know, Brothers Osborne, Jamie, all those guys. I'm doing some stuff with Cody Jinks. We're playing the Send Amphitheater September 15th. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys being really good to me, 1,000 Horses, and taking me out and exposing my music to their fans.
Sure.
So having friends in high places sure helps.
That's great. That is great. Okay, so I'm going to hit you with my signature question. It's our B-chord signature question. I ask everybody this one. You're stranded on an island. You can take one instrument with you. What would it be? And tell us if it's got some sentimental value to you, what that would be.
I have several guitars that I'm really fond of, but I have one in particular. I don't play it out much, and it's a 1956 Gibson J200 that my dad bought for me when I was a kid. I've had it since I was about 9 years old.
Wow.
And so out of all that's the one that means the most to me.
That is,
you know, it's the one that I don't take on the road, you know, and yeah, that's my baby of guitars.
Well, I love it. You couldn't give any better, you know, story behind it than that. So I get it. Well, Kendell, thank you so much. We truly appreciate this. Everybody check him out. Get his album. Download it. Amazing artist, songwriter. We truly appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Talk to you all soon. Give us a follow at bchord615. Thank you.
Hold up, shades down, ain't been off the place. Ain't seen the sun in at least 11 days. Tired of hanging out here, feeling like a clown. Waiting on her to never come back around. Think it's time to let this train fly off the track.